Welcome to Movie Lounge. I'm your host, Stephen Lawson, and let's dig into it. So today we're going to talk about how big budget films can be actually really bad and how it can be much different if you approach it in different ways. And sometimes it can be good and sometimes it can be bad, but we're going to talk about the bad things. So I was talking to someone who came into the shop the other day, and we had a pretty good topic. We were talking about Transformers and how everything is big and grand and costs so much and you lose everything. And he mentioned, why not just condense everything down, make it cost less, and have a much smaller budget so you can add in more screen time so people can see different showings. So you can have it played more times throughout. So I'm going to talk about the problems that can occur with a big budget. So with The Mummy, I would say Transformers might be a flop. So when a flop happens, it's usually the budget and how much it makes, the money it gets back. It's not about the critics bashing a movie review or critics bashing a movie with their reviews. That's not considered a flop. It's all based on money. So the problem that a lot of movies are now doing is going for bigger budget, spending more money on a film that doesn't really need it. Like, for example, if Transformers went from like a $200 million budget to like a $100 million budget, you could do so much more because you're tied down, per se, of things going on, and you don't have as much leeway to do everything, unlike a big budget. And with being tied down is you're going to be a lot smarter with how you're going to approach a film. So, for example, Deadpool costs like, I think, around $50 million to $60 million to make. That's considered a small budget nowadays with bigger feature films. And it made, I think it like tripled the amount of what it got or how much it cost. So it made its money back literally in one weekend. And doing that, they were tied down. They were like, okay, we have this much money. How can we approach it in this way that will be more effective? And you get more money out of that. Sometimes, like the Avengers or a bigger film, yeah, you're going to need to go up to $200 million. But you're risking the possibility of getting more money back is the problem. And I think with a lot of studios are like, let's go as big as possible and just make a mess. And you see that with Transformers, you see that with Batman v Superman, you see that with Suicide Squad, you see that with a lot of movies going on, including Marvel movies. Any studio that wants to dump a ton of money and get big name actors and do all these extravagant things because they think they're going to make it a big hit with this movie, and they're thinking franchise. Usually the best franchise think just, this is what we want to do, this is how we're going to do it, and if it goes big and you lead it into a possibility of more films, then go that way. But I think are going, especially some movies, they just dump in all this money for this movie, and sometimes it doesn't work, and it's a gamble. And I think that becomes a problem. I think if more studios were thinking, let's do less budget, less everything else, and just think of how we can do something with the money we've got to do something great. And I think you can come up with something totally awesome. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these big movies is they just want to just make it as big as possible because they want to compete with anything. There's nothing wrong with competing. I think the best way of competing is, for example, Deadpool or even Cloverfield. That costs, I think, like what, $108 million, and it grossed a ton of money. Like, if you think, all right, I'm going to compete with the big guys, but I'm going to go lesser on the budget, I have a legitimate shot at outperforming everyone else because his mine have better quality, because I've thought about, okay, what needs to be made, what is this going to be good to do, or is that going to be good to do, what can we do, How can we make this shot better? And two, my movie gets to be played multiple times in a day, unlike a movie that's like 2 hours. If you crunch down a movie to like an hour or an hour and a half, you have a legitimate shot at playing like probably three more times more than a regular film, because you have a shorter time, you've condensed it down. It makes more sense of going that route, but it doesn't seem like that, because a lot of studios are going, hey, let's do this way. And I think that can lead into problems. So that's that topic. I was trying to make that longer. But yeah, so here, I'll jump into movie news because there's some that have popped up. I'm going to try to start doing movie news also, like who's doing that and stuff. So the guys who did 21 Jump Street, who were doing Han Solo film, got fired. I don't know the little details. I'm going to look into that so I can give you guys more updates on that. But it looks like they hired Ron Howard to do it. And a lot of people are like, oh, they're kind of getting the wrong idea of what this happened, because a lot of movies will fire directors and hire someone. And with Han Solo, it's pretty much almost done filming as far as I know. And they're doing reshoots. Ron Howard is pretty much doing reshoots. And he's not really directing the whole movie. So a lot of people are getting that all mixed up. And I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be interesting. Ron Howard's always kind of an interesting type of filmmaker because he does it in such a cool way. That's what I mean by interesting. Not interesting like Quentin Tarantino, where he makes his films just all different. So that was that movie news. Yeah, if you guys want to have more topics for me to talk about, I'm open to talking about anything you guys want, answering any movie questions you have. Just let me know. I'll see you guys either tomorrow or Monday. Bye.